Hello, everybody. We welcome you back to our 2024 Sooner Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Media Day. I'm Jim Powers, the Assistant Commissioner of the Sooner, and we're going to head down to Langston, Oklahoma, a team that did some terrific things last year, and they're looking to build upon that this year as we visit with their new head coach, who is not a stranger to Langston University, and we'll get into that here in a second with Chris Vincent, and also a terrific graduate senior who's coming back after a terrific year last year, Koreea Kirksey. And first off, Korea, last year didn't end the way you guys wanted it to. Has that been the motivation for you guys in the off-season workouts and the preseason to kind of, build upon last year, but also go a little bit longer than you all did?
Yeah, definitely. Last year, I think we all knew that we could have gone farther than what we did. So, this year we're just using it as motivation so we can, make it to the final.
Talk a little bit about now, Coach Vincent taking over his first year. How has the preseason been learning his system? And you, as one of those leaders with this veteran group coming back, I'm sure he's leaning on you guys quite a bit to really show the program that he wants to keep going in that system that he likes to play.
Yeah, Coach Vincent, he's just been like really helpful with teaching us his coaching style. Um, Preseason was pretty fun. We had some hard days, some good days, but we're building a new culture. We're just excited for the upcoming season.
And Coach, talk a little bit about Korea first and how she's been a major key in helping you in the transition, first year with the program on the women's side, but I'm sure the players have seen you around on the men's basketball side as well.
Yeah. I think from day one, once I got the job, she was, certainly somebody that I formed a really close relationship with. As a returner, right? She's been through the thick and thin, through the SAC conference and kind of the ins and outs of where this program has been. And she's been nothing but, coach's blessing. She's taken on more of a leadership role than she may have had in the past. And there's, some growing pains that come with that, but she understands what her role needs to be in order for us to get to where we need to get to. We always talk about with our program, right? We don't have captains. In my mind, we have 18, 19, leaders in their own way. But sometimes at the end of the day, you got to count on somebody, and, as Co is, kind of the head of the snake and when we, are on offense and defense, to have that relationship is really important. So she's getting better by the day. I've already seen a ton of growth. Her knowledge right now is getting, through the roof. Things are starting to slow down for her. So she's really making a lot of others, better around her as well.
And coach, you've got Co with you and some other, great veterans that are coming back. Talk a little bit about them, but also a good mix of freshmen and transfers that are stepping in for you guys as well this year.
Yeah, I think when the transition had happened, I was unsure, who I wanted to return, and there were a couple that really stuck out, and they've been very, very integral, right, in this whole entire movement. Some really good pieces of returning with Jordan Connor. I think is one of the most athletic wings in this league and throughout the country. Maddie Boy is adding a lot of experience from the post and really trying to get to where she was from the second half of last year and building that confidence and thriving kind of in our new system. And then, from there, we have a huge new catalyst. Ended up signing 5 Division I transfers that have come in with the right mindset. This is most of their last go around, and they want to make the most of it. And they've bought into the returners and vice versa. And as a coach, I couldn't ask for more than that. And I think from day one, the team chemistry is just that's been kind of the piece that I was unsure of. But from that very first meeting, very first practice, this is one of the closest groups that I've ever been. I got to attribute not only our staff and our players, but I think Langston in itself, that family culture has been huge for everybody, and they're all buying in every single day. So, as a coach, I'm very blessed to have that team chemistry for sure.
Now, I'm not going to ask you to give any of the government secrets away, so to say, but what kind of system are we going to see out of Langston? I know what they were in the past, and that's get in and go, turn the defense into offense, and really buckle down defensively. What are some of the things are we going to see out of this team with you now as the head coach?
Yeah, I think it definitely still starts on that defensive end. That's our identity. That's something that we preach every single day. We want to be as perfect as possible on that end. And obviously, it's an imperfect game, but we can control more right on that side of the game than we can on the offensive side. We can't always rely, to make shots every single day, and things aren't going to always go our way. But we know that we can knuckle down and really get after people on the defensive end. You're going to see a lot of different looks that we throw at teams, depending on the opponent and what their strength is or weakness, and try to really do what we can on that side to exploit that. Offensively, I'm really trying to give them a lot of freedom. I don't like to handcuff players on the offensive end. We have a lot of different looks that and actions that we can just get out and go and read and see what they give us and just let them play. If they can play in space and know how to play the right way, I think it's going to, add some confusion to what's really going on. But as long as we have the understanding of where everybody needs to be and have the right pace, it's going to be a lot of fun for them just to, be free and play the right way.
In Korea, for you, that's got to be so much fun to play in a system like that, to where you do have that freedom to create and do different things. But I also know defensively, that's where it all starts and stops.
Yes, sir. Definitely defensively. Every day, like practice is more so focused and getting harped on about defense and getting in the gaps and helping each other out. But definitely defensive. That's going to be our fuel for most of all of our games, all of our season. We want to be able to lock down everybody and shut everybody down, hold them to a certain point range. So yeah, we're determined.
No doubt about it. The schedule for you guys, a great non-conference schedule, a great exhibition. You guys get to go down to Waco to play Baylor. Talk a little bit about that, Chris, and how the non-con is going to get you guys ready for the Sooner. We'll talk about the Sooner here in a second.
Yeah, no, I think I really like the non-conference schedule. It's got a bunch of different teams that have been successful in the past, some really good coaches, some familiar faces, and I think it's going to give us a bunch of different looks heading into that November 3rd game when we play Baylor. And when we get to that test, I think with the players, especially some of them that have played at some pretty good levels of the Division I level, I think they're going to be determined and not so much scared, but taking it as a test, right? That we can belong and at this level, and we just got to understand that there's going to be some mistakes, and we got to cut harder, and our details have to be more sharp. And then I think it's a perfect scenario where then we get into conference play and say, hey, this now you see, right, what we need to work on and what we've been harping on, because things are always not going to be, come as easy as they may seem. They get frustrated with me some days and they're like, Coach, we can't run offense right now, or we can't get this. I said, yeah, I want you to go against the best defense every single day. And I want you to get prepared for those type of scenarios. But I think all in all, it's a great opportunity for a lot of these players to, go down to a top 10 program and, be able to experience that, and also have a reality check to say this is where each and every one of us needs to get better. Coaching staff, players, everyone included. So I tried to set it up as best I could to get those games and kind of plan it to where it makes sense going into SAC play.
And we know about the Sooner, and this is one of the themes I've been talking about on both the men's and women's side of things. The Sooner Athletic Conference this year may be the deepest we have been. And then you add College of Ozarks, especially on the women's side. That just makes it even more interesting, so to say. I know for the coaches and for the players, it's not interesting because it's going to be a rock fight every night you play in conference play. And
Yeah,
what are your thoughts about yeah?
Yeah, I would say, being on the men's side, I was able to see a little bit, right, of the talent and the culture and, how teams operate. Obviously, we have a lot of new coaches in this league, which sometimes makes it a little bit harder, right, to understand that, okay, what's their style of play going to be this year? I have an idea for some, but there's a lot of really good coaches, a lot of really good programs, and those coaches that have returned that have set a great precedent. I think there's a lot of teams in this conference that are, in my opinion, able to make the national tournament. I do believe it's one of the strongest conferences in the country, and I have a lot of respect for all those programs. But you're right. I think it is going to be a rock fight. I don't think you can take days off. And that's something that we can look forward to every day where, there are no days off. That's our, win the day is one of our, biggest mottos, but it truly is. We cannot just have any lulls throughout the season, as long as it is all the way to March. Because, you can definitely get upset, or not bring what you need to bring on any given day. So I agree. I think this conference is really good. And I think Co would, piggyback on that.
Absolutely. And Co, talk a little bit about playing against some of the top players, not only in the Sooner, but also in the country with
Mm,
how deep our conference is.
Um, it's just it's a tough conference definitely because I feel like a lot of the players, they don't take days off. They put in the work to actually get the results that they need, and ultimately, it's just making everybody better. So, yeah.
And the atmosphere that you guys get a chance to play in. And I can't wait to get down to Langston for the basketball championships. But it's got to be so much fun, Co, to play in that type of atmosphere night in and night out when you guys play at home.
Yeah, it's definitely one to play in that she wants to play in. I'm sorry. The Den, it's just electrifying in there. You want to come out and play your best game always. Um, like Coach had said, the family culture that we have down here, they really support us. They love to see us play. They love to see us win. And it's just a blessing to be able to be in the atmosphere, especially now with Coach Vincent. I feel like we're going to bring in, more eyes, more fans and stuff like that. So it just means we all got to step up to the plate and get it done and win the day.
And Coach, you know what the atmosphere there at Gales Field
mm,
House on the men's side and the community support that you get stepping into this role, it just had to make it more easier because you're familiar and you're familiar with,
mm.
the community and those kind of things.
Yeah, it's a special place. Not only the students but the alumni, and now the local support that we've gotten, especially the last 2 years, is really established Langston to where we can get to the next level every year in and year out. And I knew that from what we had done on the men's side, right, in that 2 year turnaround is something that I envisioned coming on this side, and I knew it would be attainable. We just got to put those pieces together and really hit the ground running. I think all those pieces are in place. It's just got to all work out, right, and just dealing with adversity day in and day out. But when you have those people to support you, fortunately, we can have the conference tournament. That's our goal to, obviously we're hosting, but to be in that Final Four here during the SAC play is going to be something electric, and hopefully that we can use the entire school and fan base to push us to end up throwing that trophy up at the end.
No doubt about it. Well, I know it's a busy time. I appreciate you both taking a little bit of time out of your busy schedules to visit with us, and great to hear more about your program and what you envision, Coach, with what's going on. So thank you so much. I'm excited to watch you guys play. It's going to be a lot of fun to follow.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having us on today.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Chris Vincent, the head coach at Langston on the women's side, and also a great student athlete and an outstanding basketball player. Koreea Kirksey joins us. And it's going to be a great year to follow Langston on both the men and the women's side. And we'll be following them throughout the year. When we come back, we'll have more from our great coaches and also our outstanding student athletes as it's the 2024 Sooner Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Media Day coming up more here very shortly.